Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. Uh, Sorry for starting up the stream a little late. It's currently 2:18, so not exactly a 2 p.m. PST YouTube stream, but I'm here. Okay, so today we got some Pega certification to continue. We have some more Unreal Engine. We're once again going to be studying more about C++ today. We have some more videos to um, make public. And then we got some Phasmophobia. Now, seeing that this is the pretty much the last Saturday before Halloween, um, this is probably going to be our last, major, like splash for Phasmophobia. So I'm gonna see what I can do about, if to see if Blackheart wants to kind of go towards larger buildings, but at the same time, I know that, um, I mean, I for me, I'm glad that he's there because it kind of calms me down. Um, but I mean, there's still some scary parts on it, and going into larger buildings doesn't necessarily help. And Blackheart, um, gets hit just as much as I do. Obviously, we don't necessarily scream our heads off, but it still creeps us out. Um, so look forward to that today, later on tonight. Okay, so who am I? What are we doing here? What are these videos all about? So on and so forth. So I'm currently an unemployed software developer trying to find a job. My last job was concerning the Pega environment, um, where you know we were originally trained by an authorized training partner, me and several others, to try to take the certification and pass the certification for the system architect. However, our trainer wasn't exactly the greatest. Many of us, if not all of us, had switched over to self-study because we just weren't really getting much um, out of the training sessions. And don't think that it was just me. The guy's coworkers knew that we were having some troubles with them as well. So, and they saw it firsthand what was going on. So they were aware. So, you know, um, just saying. Um, but the one and only time that I took the certification, I was definitely not ready for it. They basically forced me to take it, and I failed it, pure and simple. Um, there wasn't, I knew that I wasn't ready, but they said take it or we're gonna have to let you go. So I took it. I failed it. They kept me on, but they didn't do anything to um, try to fix the mistakes that were there. You know, we asked to be put back in to some another training session with a different authorized training partner to get a better understanding of Pega because we weren't getting it from the one that we had. But they didn't do that, so it is what it is. Now, obviously, it falls upon me to continue with the studying afterwards, and I didn't do that. Okay. I did kind of wish I had more of a mentor to help with that, but for the most part, everybody was basically saying, "Hey, you study when you need to study. We'll be there to answer questions." And that's not necessarily what a great mentor is all about. Um, Now, some people might be fine with that. Some people might be able to get along, get by with that. I needed a little bit more structure. So that's how my mind works. Um, that's why I'm doing these videos. That's why I'm doing these streams to kind of keep me focused on the objective. I didn't really have that. So, um, I didn't really have that in my last job. You know, I had, the occasional project that would come in for me to work on, and I did it, without too many difficulties. So, I did the work that they needed me to work on. So, I mean, there's that. But that was about it. So, what should you expect? Well, I'm not an authorized training partner, and this is not meant to be an instructor-led training. Okay, I'm here trying to get my certification for system architect finally. Um, you know, so you know, an authorized training partner or instructor should know everything that there is to know about Pega and answer your questions. I don't. I may be able to answer your question, but I can't guarantee it. But there's a big but here. Feel free to ask questions. Okay, even if I don't know it, it doesn't mean that it can't be answered. Okay, it doesn't have to. The answer doesn't have to necessarily come from me. It can come from, say, my coworkers, who I'm still in contact with. I can still reach out to them and say, hey, I have a question on one of my videos talking about this. Can you look into it and see, um, can you answer it for me? Okay. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Okay. If you're not quite sure what is being discussed, what I'm going over, you're not sure, and I can't provide an answer, I will do what I can to find the answer for you. Okay. So don't be afraid to ask those questions. Okay. If you have a question, you ask it, we'll get an answer. Okay, um, so look forward to that. Okay, help yourself out by asking those questions. Now, if you want to take the instructor-led training, then go ahead and do so. Okay, I personally haven't been in an instructor-led training, so I don't know everything that you're going to be going through. But from what I understand, it's a 2-week course. It's $5,000. So it's not exactly cheap, and it's not a lot. It's not a lot of time, and they're trying to push the certification into you as quickly as they can. So you're going to be needing to take a lot of notes, a lot of video recordings, and ask a lot of questions because they may teach you like I was taught 8.6. They may try to cram like the current version that they're working on right now is 23. They may cram 23 into you, like fully. Okay. Um, they say like basically about 2 days worth of information crammed into you, um, within those 2 weeks. Yeah, believe me, it doesn't feel like it's a um, 2 day listen. you know, so, um, but I mean, ask your questions there too. Okay. Not only for the current version, but for past versions as well, because there's going to be questions on its certification that may touch upon previous versions of Pega. When I took the 8.6, I had Pega 7 questions, so just bear that in mind. Okay. Plus, it also helps when you get out into a job. You're going to be working with individuals that might have certifications in 5, 6, 7, who knows? Okay, so be prepared for that. Okay, so if you're here for Business Architect, that's done. That's already been done. It's on my playlist. You can go through the 2 missions and 2 modules that I've already covered for 8.7. Okay, they're working on currently 23 right now. Okay, they haven't translated 8.8 yet, but you know, they're currently working on 23 right at this moment in time. So just bear that in mind. Okay. Um, all this, we're currently working on a lot, with this already. There's already a lot of videos already on my channel concerning the system architect. So, you know, you got a lot of material to kind of go through. Um, Also note that these two modules here are all about the Pega Express delivery. And if you're working towards the business architect, then I would recommend going through the Pega Express delivery because I don't feel like these two modules is enough to cover everything that you're going to need to know about the Pega Express delivery. That's 12% of the certification exam at this time, so be prepared. So probably not going to cover it myself as my main goal is the system architect. So, okay. Um, okay, but we've covered data pages, we covered the refresh strategies for data pages, and now we're going to be going on to page auto population, which from what I understand wasn't really that much, but I think I had like maybe 10 minutes left, so I didn't really want to go through it yesterday. So um, that's what today's for. So what is page auto population? So it's data access options. To auto-populate pages with data, Pega Platform provides you with the option to refer to or copy data that is stored in another system or application. The option you choose impacts the storage and refreshing of data in a case. So data access manual, refer to a data page or copy data from a data page. So refer to a data page. Refer to a data page when you always need the most current data from an external system or application. Use this option to ensure that the data displayed on the Pega Platform application is up to date. The case does not contain a copy of the data. Instead, the application refers to the data from the source when needed. For example, if an account holder has a new phone number, the updated number is displayed when the data is accessed from the case. The data reloads according to the refresh strategy specified on the data page. The property page, or the property page or page list, always points to the current version of the data page. Whenever a data page parameter is updated, a new data page is created. The property then points to the new page. So So that's all about, referring to a data page. So refer to a data page when you always need the older existing data from an external system or application. False. That's when you need the current, up-to-date version. So, okay, copy data from data page. Copy data from data page to a case when you need data from a specific point in time. Once you copy the data to the case, the data is not retrieved from the source again unless the request parameters change. For example, when a user creates an insurance claim, the application copies customer information to the claim form in an external system, or from an external system. Each time the case is opened, the customer information recorded in the case remains unchanged. So, if you're copying information from the data source, and, this hasn't changed at all, name, phone number, and address, then you don't need to have it changed again, right? So there you go. So when you copy data from a data page, the data is stored in the property. The data page is not accessed again unless it has a parameter that changes. When a parameter changes, the new data page is created. The impacted data is copied to the property and overwrites the existing data. Um, Make sure that you have it where it overwrites all the data, by the way. Clear out all the clear data first and then overwrite. At least I hope. Because sometimes I've seen it where people um, like you have a character array and you don't clear out the entire array and then you just fill in on the spots. Like you have a 10 character array, you fill in all 10 spots, and then you know put in new data for 1 through 5. Well, that 6 through 10 is still there, so it makes a mess. But I'm sure that Pega handles that. At least I hope. I haven't seen anything that indicates those particular errors, but you never know. It may happen sometime. Um, so check your knowledge with the following interaction. When you copy data from a data page, the data is refreshed only when the data page parameter changes. The data page is refreshed. You reopen the case. You interact with the property. Well, yeah, I'm trying not to look above here right at this moment in time. It doesn't. I don't think it refreshes automatically. The data doesn't necessarily refresh automatically whenever a parameter changes. So I think it's only when you like interact with it or reopen it or something like that. So the data page refreshing or data page parameter changes, I don't think that automatically refreshes your copied data. So I think it's when you reopen the case. No, okay. Let's look back up here again. When you copy data from the data page, the data is stored in the property. The data page is not accessed again unless it has a parameter that changes. Okay, so I was thinking that it was kind of this one, but when the parameter changes, a new data page is created. But that doesn't change your copied data, though. The impacted data is copied to the property and overwrites the existing data. Hmm. So when a user creates an insurance claim, the application copies customer information to claim from an external system. Each time the case is opened, though, the customer information recorded to the case remains unchanged. So, it's like it's a weird um it's a little odd that you have a scenario where um you have it copied once, from the system, right? And even though the customer might be interacting with it, it doesn't refresh at all. It just kind of keeps the same information. But only as soon as the data page data changes does the information there change as well. That seems a bit odd, but uh, I mean, I guess so. So only when the parameter changes. Once you copy the data to the case, the data is not retrieved from the source again unless the request parameters change. And how does it know that the request parameters change? That's my question here. Wait a minute. Is it the request parameters or the values? This seems suspect. My hmm. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna take a screenshot of this real quick and ask them that question because I'm not sure. Alright. Oh, gotta sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me about that. Okay. Um. Here, let me look back at the image here again, just so I can address my question properly. Um, so my question regarding the small quiz at the end of the topic is how does it know when the parameter has been changed? Is it constantly checking the source for when it changes so that it will change the copied data? Seems like a waste of time to be constantly querying the database for a change that might never occur. So how does it know? Would like to have some more information here if you could provide. Thank you. Okay. Okay, we got 15 minutes left. Supposedly this next topic is only 5 minutes long. Once again, we have another challenge topic here. So that's not really going to be that great. Once again, I kind of wish that they would move these to more challenge-based topics than anything else, so that you can actually test these within an instance. What about this one? Okay, well this one's not too long. Data access in UI controls. Reference data in the user interface. Applications often use lists to manage user input. Populating list values from data source rather than embedded list values and property definition improves application maintenance by avoiding the need to re-release an application when a list values change. For example, a financial services company can provide a user with a list of cities with branch offices when scheduling an appointment with a financial advisor. The entities in the list update whenever branch locations are added to or removed from the data source. So when you populate a list with data from a data page, only a selected value is copied to the data model of a case. The value copied to the case does not need to match the value displayed in the list. For example, a dropdown contains a list of many country names. When the user selects a country, the application can copy the country code rather than the country name to the case. When you populate a list with data from a data page, the items in the list update according to the refresh strategy specified on the data page. If the data page accepts a parameter, Pega platform creates a data page instance each time the parameter changes, updating the list contents. And I hope it kind of holds on to like maybe previous instances, so it doesn't necessarily need to, you know, query the database each and every single time during that window kind of thing. But I don't know. So it doesn't have to keep on querying the database over and over again. But when a UI control populates a list entities from a data source, all the list entities are copied to the data model of the case. You're not copying everything. You're only copying, that small portion that they're looking for. So module quiz. Let's see. This is a 10-minute quiz. How many questions? And we got 12 minutes. Only 5 questions? Oh, that's not too bad. Well, it depends on the what's on the page or what's in the quiz. So let's see if we can finish it off in the next 10 minutes. So a product return case must always show the current contact information for a customer. Case sources the contact information from the customer database to display a header section on each step, which is the best implementation for the use case. Configure a page property with the refer to the data page option selected. Configure the data transform to populate the data model with customer data directly. Yeah, so it's not the second one because it's like, you're trying to get the information from the database. So you're not prompting the customer for that data. Why should you even bother with that? So no. I configure the page property with copy data from the data page option selected and reference the data page with customer information directly from UI controls. Again, you're not necessarily getting the information from like the database. So it's just these two here, right? So so you either are so it's looking for the current contact information, right? So and it's always showing it. So you always want it to be, something that will refresh every single time, right? So you most likely will want to refer to the data page, not copy data. So yeah, okay. An order is placed with a wholesaler must include pricing information from an inventory database as a placement of the order, which is the best implementation of this use case. You probably wanted to do the copy data. Yeah. Because you want it on the placement of the order. Okay, so as soon as you are, getting the information like right then and there, like, hey, I'm placing, and I want to place the order. You're copying that information right then and there about, what the price is, the inventory, all the information concerning said product, from the data page once. And it's not going to change, so that's why you want the copy. So exchange rates are updated daily from a web service. You make an exchange rate available in your application using a data page. Which scope of do you select for the data page? Oh boy. Well, application isn't part of the scope. It's node request thread. Node is referencing like multiple people needing to access it, and I don't think that's part of what you need there. So it's either request or thread. And I think we want to go with request, I believe it was. Nope, it was thread. Okay. The request scope creates an identical data page for each requester. Okay. You have a data page with customer data. The data page is configured to reload if it is older than 1 hour. Which of the following best describes when the data page will reload? So the data page reloads on next access 1 hour after creation. That sounds like that's the right answer right at this moment in time. The data page reloads automatically 1 hour after last accessed. No. Data page reloads automatically 1 hour after creation. No. The data page reloads on the next access 1 hour after last accessed. Ooh, okay. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, when does it refresh? Is it upon creation or is it upon being last accessed? Like, okay. Think of it this way. If it's 1 hour after creation, like you have the creation, then 1 hour afterwards, if you access it like 1 hour afterwards, then you get that data page reload. Okay, but if you try to access the page like 1 minute afterwards, every single minute after that 1 hour has passed, does it refresh? Does it reload? Or do you need like another hour after that? Okay. Where the last access, it's if you have the you say let's say it's created, you have that 1 hour, so technically last accessed is the creation part, right? So 1 hour after that, you can then access it. But then does it add that extra hour afterwards? So you have to wait that much longer for a refresh of information. I am not certain about that. Ooh. Hey there, Emlyn. How you doing? My day's been pretty good so far. Oh, I don't think they really mentioned much about being last accessed. So I'm gonna assume that it's this one. Okay. It can't be these two. Hands down, it cannot be both of these answers. Okay. Because it doesn't reload automatically. Okay, it has to be when you do the next access. Okay, so it's either the first or the fourth answer. I'm just not sure about the creation versus last accessed. I think it's creation. Okay. Um, so I mean, technically you can have it reload, every minute after that, it feels like. So, yeah. All right. We got a couple minutes before we have to get Unreal Engine up and running, so um, we may finish off this last question. How's your day been there, Emlyn? What have you been up to? Although I believe you said that you would be waking up early morning for this one, so good morning. Hope you slept well. Um, and today would be your Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So, okay. And automobile service management case must allow customers to select the make, model, and trim of an automobile when setting up a service appointment. Which implementation satisfies this requirement? Populate the data object with records of all the allowed combinations of make, model, and trim. Yeah. Reference the make, model, and trim information from a series of drop-down lists in the UI. I mean, that might be a good way of doing it. Configure a page list containing the make, model, and trim information that uses a refer to the data page option. I don't know if you really need either one of these two. No, you probably don't want either one of those two. A page list would, give you like a full-on web page that has like a lot of information on it. So I don't think it's either one of those two. And I don't think it's the data object. So I believe it's this last option. Yeah. Drop down list. So there we go. You haven't slept yet. Oh my gosh, my friend. You need some sleep. Ooh, I missed one. Okay. Let's go back through this then. Let's see. 1 hour after creation. There's that. Okay, so this one, I tried request and that wasn't correct. So we're trying thread. Huh, okay. I wonder why they want it to be node. Okay, well, let me move on. Let's see. We want that one. You will soon? Okay. Alright, as long as you get some sleep, man, my friend, because, sun's rising. Sun's rising for you, so it's gonna be a little rough to try to sleep when you have the sun in your eyes. Unless, of course, you have like one of those things that kind of blocks out the sun. So, or you have like, you know, black curtains to block out the sunlight. So, or you live on the ground. Are you a mole person there, Emlyn? Okay. Alright. Oh no, I found out your secret. I'm gonna die. Ah! Okay, never mind. Okay. I know too much. Okay. Case sources, the contact information from a customer database. Right, which we want to refer. Right. There we go. So was node for some reason. Okay, hold on. Select node if all users and the system tasks on the system can share the contents of the data page. Pega platform populates a single instance of the data page the first time a user or system action requests the page. all users and system actions that follow access the cache page rather than creating additional instances of the data page. I'm not sure. All right, well, I guess we'll have to kind of close it down here a little bit. We gotta go on. We gotta move on to the Unreal Engine here in just a second. I'm sure Blackheart's gonna be getting started here pretty soon himself. So we'll go ahead and kind of close on down this session of our um, Pega Academy. Um, I mean, if you are watching this and your experience with Pega, you know, maybe help me out with the what's it called? The data pages topic a little bit because I know that I struggled during that, and no, like I said, there was a lot of information there. So, I mean, if you're someone that is very well experienced with Pega, please, um, obviously I missed that one question, which obviously is a danger to me when I take the certification exam. I can't miss those questions. So anything that can help me better understand why would be welcomed. So, but that's it for this portion. We're going to go ahead and switch on over to the Unreal. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here in just a second. But if, before I do, if you can, do the like and subscribe to help me out with the algorithm. Check out the description for, various other links that I have, such as, social media, Patreon, so on and so forth. That would be fantastic. And, as always, you're always welcome to make comments, questions, suggestions, constructive criticism, whatever, you know, um, mm, within reason, I should say. Um, on my videos, I look forward to them. So, but that's going to be it for this Pega video for the time being. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you, Emlyn, for stopping on by um, during this portion of the video. And I'll see you all later next time. Take care.